are back, round 2 with us, and today we are going to be talking about how relationships are scary and why we find them scary, and just random 4 things really that we find that are definitely scary about relationships. So the first thing that we want to talk about is pressure. Now we both have the same thing in common. Basically, both of our moms are basically giving us pressure, kind of, or we feel like it's pressure to find a boyfriend. Like my mom has asked me many times, why don't, not asked, kind of not yelled, but quote unquote
harsh conversations.
Yeah, saying why don't you just go out with them? Why don't you ever hang out with them? Just give them a chance. Just go. You never know. And
it's like they think that we don't even have that we don't talk to guys or something like that.
Exactly.
It's crazy and 20-ish years old and aren't talking to anyone except girls or something like that.
Yeah, and they don't want us to become 30 and single.
Yeah.
And that might not happen. We might not have found our right guy yet. She's going away to school, a different school next year where she'll be living at it, and I'm gonna be doing a different school soon. But maybe I'd find someone through the YouTube community. You never know, Joe. And I think that it's really frustrating with pressure from parents, and it's kind of hard for us and probably many others. Wait, does that make sense? Many of you might feel the same way. Might feel the same way about that, and kind of have the same situations where your parents are a little bit pressuring, because it's look, you're getting up there in age, you should start thinking about relationships. Most of the time, when you're not looking for a relationship and you're kind of happy with yourself and content with who you are, by yourself, alone,
I like my
as a
independence.
unit.
I don't want to be rushed into anything.
Exactly.
Just to have the label, I guess.
And most of the time, when you're not looking for it, the right person comes your way. Worry about yourself first. Number 1 rule.
Yeah.
Next thing I think we want to talk about is things being FBO or Facebook official. And most people don't think relationships are real unless they're on Facebook, and that's really not true at all. I don't know if you've experienced it. I haven't really. We both haven't been in relationships, so
I've seen it happen plenty of times. Then, in order, if people break up, then of course the first thing you do is go on Facebook and have to break yourself up.
Exactly. Why make it so public? Maybe you just need to break from each other. Why make that kind of public? You don't want people to know.
If you're into the on and off relationships and you're the type of person that breaks up with them every other
Exactly.
day, that's going to be on Facebook and it just gets annoying.
And confusing.
Yeah.
If you're in a relationship, I feel also, not only are you a unit together, you are 2 different people. You might be one thing together, but when you're apart, you need to have your life and they need to have theirs.
Yeah,
and then you can have things in common and you can do stuff together, obviously, but it shouldn't be oh, you can't hang out with them because I don't like them. Maybe just let them hang out with them when you're not there.
And if your family or friends have reasons they don't like whoever you're dating, there's probably a good reason and you should take that into consideration.
Exactly.
And I feel since you and I haven't been in a relationship, I don't think it's not all completely about being scared, but we've seen what other people go through and stuff, and so that does make us scared, but we just don't want to go through that kind of experience ourselves.
Exactly.
So
we want to try and find Mr. Right.
Yeah, we're looking for the right person.
And another thing that really scares me about relationships is running out of things to talk about. I'm very scared about that, especially in the first few weeks and maybe first few dates. You kind of don't know what to talk about, and this is where I think friendships coming first before relationship is awesome, because you really get to know the person as them and not as their relationship self. Because I find that when I meet someone and they're hey, do you want to go on a date, or they're more hey, I like you, let's talk.
Yeah.
I'm kind of different than I would be when I'm just myself. When I like a guy, I tend to over text and get nervous and say the wrong things and apologize all the time. And that's not okay, because that's not who I am. And it's not good. So I think for me, friendships being first is probably the best way to do it, because then they get to know me for me and the idiot that I am.
Once you get to a certain point.
With best friends, you can just sit down and watch TV and you don't have to talk and everything's perfectly fine, because you're so close that you just like being in each other's company. And once you get to that point, that's awesome. But, you know, don't worry about running out of things to talk about, because a lot of things will happen in your day. And things will come up and you'll be like, oh my gosh,
And
this
if
happened.
you're right for each other and have a good connection, then it shouldn't matter anyway. I agree with the friends first, but it's just hard because, like, most of the time the guy, like, will be a little too, I don't know, how do you say? Forward, yeah.
Yeah.
And so they do just want to, like, hang out or take you on a date, like, right away, whereas I would rather just be friends first and stuff. And, like, even texting, like, I am one of those people, and it's not like I'm being flirty, oh, he's texting me so I have to respond quick. Like, I just like to be a quick responder so I can keep the conversation going usually. Like, sometimes you put your phone down and that's different, but so I think guys take that the wrong way sometimes. They're like, oh, she's responding back, she must be interested, whereas that's just who I am and I like to talk
That's
too.
just
So,
that's just who I am.
but yeah, the friendship thing's good.
Also, another thing that really scares me is like the label of a relationship, and this also ties in with FBO. Like labels are stupid. Just because you like someone and stuff like that, a label shouldn't ruin anything.
And terms too, like all the dating, like
Yeah.
talking and all that. That's just too much.
That, yeah, there really is way too much.
Yeah.
And it's stupid. Like, don't label anything, because labels just, no.
If you're too worried about that, then you're not
Yeah.
going to focus on actually making a good relationship and
Exactly.
bond with the person.
Yeah, and so also, if you label, I feel like labeling things just takes away from who they really are as a person, and like you don't really get to know them. It might be different on one person's term. Like one person might have one label for something, and the other person could have another label.
So they might think that you're more than you actually are, or less. So you have to make sure you're on the same page.
Yeah. And I think labels come with trust.
And communication. So
Always start things off like clear and concise when you first start talking to someone, so they know where you are. We're gonna go, but if you guys have any similar like relationship things that have happened or any other like stories, make sure to leave them in the comment section down below. And if you could relate to anything that we've said, give this video a big thumbs up. And if you want to see more content of mine, you know, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. And I really hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you want Megan to be on the channel more, you know, hit that thumbs up button too, because it's kind of fun having other people on your channel, and it's not just like you completely talking to the camera and your own opinion. So yeah, I think
thanks
this
for
is
having me.
yeah, this is gonna happen more often. I promise you guys.
Yeah.
Promise. So we're gonna head out to the soccer game, and I'll see you guys next Tuesday. Peace out, guys.
Bye.
Bye. Whoa!
Hopefully it's